Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Nishmas from Alex Gilden. First, I'd like to call you my chavrusa, not my Rebbe. You may not know what I look like, but I certainly know what you look like. You may do all the talking, but that's the way it goes with chavrusa sometimes. I just wish you'd wake me up a little earlier with a text or something so I could get to our chavrusa shaf on time. Sometimes, however, I get there before you and wait until the shir is uploaded on many platforms. In any event, you harbored upon a point yesterday that I mentioned for many years. I live in Passaic, and I always felt that the difference that I see here is people are living the Daf Yomi. Here meaning MDY, I guess. They're living Daf Yomi. That's literally what we were talking about yesterday, applying the Daf Yomi to your life. And I'm going to give you an unbelievable example coming up. Not just learning the Daf Yomi. Thank you for bringing it to life, and thank you for the service to drive people to do more and do better. We all need chizuk in life, and you want to see everyone succeed in climbing our own individual ladders of ruchnius. And as we make something of our neshama in this world, keep up your drive, motivation, inspiration, because it's working. Yeshikoyach, your chavrusa, Alex Gilden. P.S. If the shir could be edited and posted by 6:20 a.m. Passaic time, that would be great. So yesterday, our boy Sai, I showed a video of Yor Zeit, and the effect that it had, I'm not exaggerating, you could ask Yosef, maybe 10 emails, and I want to show you some. This is a screenshot from Yisrael Goldstein. If Yor Zeit could do it, so can I. Thank you for posting his video, and look what he did here. He's taking his YouTube, and is erasing his YouTube from his phone. Shalom. And then, this morning, he sends me this. Just want to show it to you. Let me see if I could.
I get in the belly. Sorry for leaving a voice note right before this year now. But letting you know the ramification of this email video clip you put of Yor Zeit. I put it on my status and I put it on the MDY New York group. And I have so far 16 people that PM me, text me that they deleted their YouTube totally off the phone, and they're going to listen to the Shia through all Daf or Torah anytime. Mikam Yisrael, Mikam MDY. Baruch Tzvi.
What was the name of that guy that he sent us the email? I wanted to. Okay, I'll show it tomorrow. Also.
I want to tell you, from today, I hope put the unedited on all Daf and then switch it out. So those people who are waiting for it, they should hopefully have to be unedited.
So the unedited they could see right away. They'll be able to see the 6:20 Passaic time. All right, again, it's about living the daf, taking things that you hear during shir, and even sometimes during emails. It was an inspiration to a lot of people. That's why I showed it, that he took off YouTube from his phone. It's an unbelievable thing. Yeah, I think now MDY should start another movement of taking off YouTube. Oh, here it is. This is the email. I had the exact same thing as the guy that emailed, using excuses that I need YouTube for learning. Lemaisa, all Daf, and plenty other sites have all what you need. And since I took off YouTube, I realized how much of a waste of time you end up spending going from one thing to the next. I had a few friends that I convinced to do the same, and everyone felt the same. It's hard, but the outcome is amazing. Thank you again for everything. Holding strong since Nadarim, life changer, Yisachar Savitz, but don't mention my name. Thank you. So we got Rishus to mention his name, because I said if you don't mention his name, it doesn't have the same impact. So Yishkoyach for Yisachar Savitz and all those who wrote in. For as long as I remember, probably, okay, you know what, we'll skip this to tomorrow. Rabbi Isai, the call is sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. The Masechta is sponsored by Moshe Banda, to thank Hashem that I'm able to thank you for everything that I have. The sponsor of the month, nishmas Yosef, nishmas Zechraya ben Moshe, and the third sponsor, Hashem, should open up all the tzinorot bracha of Baruch Tzvi Nissim, ben Shoshana Lea. The Goldburd Family, the nishmas Badana bas Wolf Halevi, Badana, on her first yartzeit. By Moe Landy, Lili nishmas, my grandmother, Sarah Faiga bas Yitzchok, on her yartzeit. And the art of the month for complete refuah for Chaim Tzvi ben Leah. Rabbi Isai, today is an amazing Gewaldike Lomdische Daf. And Gittin has been very, very gishmak. No, it's not. We're done with Breiro. That was 2 days ago, I think. This is Chazaka. Cheskes Kamaisa. I just want to throw this out there. We don't have a sponsor for the second volume of Gittin yet. And Gittin is an amazing masechta. And I know there are a lot of people out there that haven't given their meiser yet. And sometimes they don't even give meiser. Here's an opportunity to give to the best tzedakah possible. Torah and chesed together for a meis mitzvah. I'm going to call it a meis mitzvah. It's Gittin chelik beis. I want to give kiddushin. Chelik aleph. Gittin chelik beis. People are still going to join. And you're going to be the one that sponsored their joining Torah and changing their lives. Be a part of it. Zok De'eli Mishnah. I'm hoping, B'neis, just as yesterday we started from Mishnah and ended by Mishnah, I'm hoping that we should maybe get to the Mishnah on Daf Amud Aleph. And the reason why I'm hoping is because there are 20, the entire Amud Aleph all the way to the Mishnah is word for word of Amud Beis. So if we pay attention to Amud Beis, we can do Amud Aleph in about a minute and a half. That's my hope. Says the Mishnah, maybe get v'nichai zaken echayla. We're going to go into a sugya, a fascinating sugya. How do we view people? Do they have a chazaka that they're alive? We don't know what their status is. Do we assume that a person is dead, or do we assume he's alive? In what case do we do what? The Halevi Mishnah is sponsored by Eli Friedman, nishmas, my dear father, Chaim Avram Shalom Yerucham ben Yisrael David Al Shalom. Maybe get v'nichai zaken echayla. The guy sending the get was an elderly person or a sick person. The shliach can give the get because there's a chazaka midoraisa. And here it is. Here, you know what? Let's do it again. Take a look at the screen because here we go. It's called Yediyas Hashas. It started a few days ago, and we're trying to finalize the final design, but here's Yediyas Hashas. Chazaka Kamaisa, that is, that a person has a chazaka, his current status, what was this person? He was alive. He's alive now. I don't know where he is and what he is, but he was alive when I left him. He has a chazaka Kamaisa, he has a chazaka. It's midarai, so we use this chazaka, and it's a very delicate chazaka, as we're going to see. It doesn't always work. We have to see. Sometimes it's very straightforward. Chazaka, that he's not dead. Do we have a chazaka that he won't die? No. Chazaka is that he's not dead right now. Just to bring this point home, a woman came to the Brisker Rav, Reb Chaim Brisker, and said, my husband ran away. So he looks at her, so, okay, I'm not the police, like, what do you want me to do? She says, is he alive? He says, yeah, he's alive. Did he go off the derech? Like, what happened? No, he didn't go off the derech. Is he going to come back home? Yeah, he's going to come back home. Sure enough, a few days later, the guy shows up. So they asked him, what is this, a moifas? Ruach HaKodesh? She says, no. She asked me if he's dead. He has chazaka kamaisa. He's not dead. He left when he was alive. He's not dead. So it's a chazaka. She asked me if he went off the derech. No. He has cheskas kashrus. We have chazaka. He's not off the derech. So how do you know? Oh, if he's alive and he didn't go off the derech, why wouldn't he come back home? Okay. I was also thinking that, but we're not going to repeat. Bas Yisrael and Asul Kohen. V'halach ba'ala l'medinas hayom. If you have a Yisraelis who's married to a Kohen and she's permitted to eat truma, truma is what we give to the Kohen. I asked somebody that listens to the shir almost every day, and Baruch Hashem, he's here in the room today. I met him last night, close to 12 o'clock at night, and I said, so and so. What's Trumas Meiser? Why? Because I always show the charts. I've shown it 1,000 times, and everybody knows Trumas Meiser. What is Trumas Meiser? And he started going, beh. And then he says, and what's Harsha? Because he's doing ribbis, now he's asking what's Harsha. My point is that I'm going to show it again. Trumas Meiser is the one that you should learn for today. Just pick one. Trumas Meiser is the most confusing one. It's the part that you give to the Kohen that comes off the part that the Levi got. The Truma off of the Meiser. Meiser is what you give the Levi. Truma is what you give the Kohen. Trumas Meiser is a combination of both. It's the Truma, the part that the Levi takes off and gives to the Kohen from his own Meiser that he received. And we're going to show it soon. Okay, good. Bas Yisrael and Esua l'Kohen v'holach ba'lam dinas hayam. Fascinating shaila. I'm married to a Kohen and I could eat Truma all I want. Do I have to be concerned that my husband died when he was in Chutz La'aretz? I don't know. I didn't speak to him. I have no idea what his status is. Now, if he dies, she no longer can eat Truma unless she has children from him. But if they don't have children, she can't eat Truma. So what should she do? Again, we have a chazaka, a second case. Two cases already. First case is he gave a get. He was a shliach to give a get from a guy that's dying, or he's old, not dying, he's sick and old. Cheska shukayim. Over here, the husband is a chutz la'aretz. We haven't heard from him for 20 years. There's a chazaka that he's alive. You can eat from him. If you send a karban, somebody was Michal Shabbos b'shoigig, so he sends a karban chatos to the Beis Hamikdash. If he's not alive, the owner, you can't bring it. You have to be alive. Here, you do another Yediyas Hashas, why not? These are the 5 chatois mesois. And the middle one, the center one, is chatas shemesu ba'alea. If the owner of a chatas dies before you bring it, you put it into a room, unfortunately, and let the chatas die. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't redeem it, you can't do anything. Okay? It says vitimna. That's the way to remember it. Great. We're talking about an old man who didn't reach 80 yet. Old man went to the Rav. It says in the pasuk here, we say it all the time. 80 is gvuros. He goes to the Rav, I'm very worried. I'm hitting 80. It says gvuros shmainim. So the Rav said, it says that when you're 40, labina. I didn't see the bina worked on you. You have nothing to worry about. Gvuros is not going to work on you either. Says Rava, we're talking about not a guy that's holding in the last stages of his life. We're talking about a guy who's a say, so you can deal with it. You need a little stent, a little procedure. He's not going to die. But an old man who's already 80, v'goises, he's mamish. What do they call it? No, the last, where they put them in that hospice. He's in hospice. He's a goises. Shoroiv goises in lemisa, because we have a roiv that they're not going to make it. Loi, do not deliver the get. Eisvi abaya, as abaya maybe get v'nichoi zaken afilu ben meya shana. It says specifically, even though he's 100 years old, noisin la becheska shu kayam. Unbelievable, 100 years old. So Baruch Hashem, the Litvish Agdailim, so many of them, B'liya and Hara, lived to over 100. Even Rav Gershon Edelstein, Rav Shach, and the list goes on. Rav Scheinberg, Rav Steinman, Rav Yashiv. Said, now they take the young ones, like Rav Dov Lando is 92. He's 94 already? 94. So they machter him because he's young chicken. But what's going on here? We're going to see an unbelievable thing. To Yufta, so it's a good kasha. It says over here that even if he's 100 years old, he has a chazak. Chazak is a chazak. I don't care how old he is. A guy that was 98 years old, they said you have to go to the doctor. He said, I'm not going to the doctor. It turns out why. Because when he was a small child, he stepped on the Vilna Gaon's tzitzis, on his talus, and the Vilna Gaon, so the Vilna Gaon did some, pulled it, and he gave him a bracha. He said, you should live to be 100. So the guy said, I'm guaranteed to 100. I'm not going to the doctor now. 100. So it's a kasha. We said 80. 80, we can't, there's no chazaka. Also now 100 is a chazaka. The boy Seima, the Gemara says, unbelievable. Listen to this one. Kivin the iflig. Since he's already past 90, iflig. Rashi says, very interesting. What? Oh, what did I miss out? I said to you, check out the video. I said it. So you know what? I'm not going to say it again now. Check it out on the video. No.
Isn't it avoiding the guy if he's healthy? He's healthy, so then he could be 120.
No, it's not. It's a gvuros. The Gemara understands that gvuros is bad. It says the Gemara, once you hit from 80 to 90 is terrible. It's a bad age. It's unfortunately, if you think about it, a lot of people don't make those. Those are the 10 years where. But if somebody hits 90, says the Gemara, very interesting. Then he can live. Then he's made out of different genes. His body's a different body. He's the type of guy he's the type of person that lives to 100, 120. You have to keep in the iflig. That's what it says. Yeah, but you're asking to me, not 80, 90. 90. From 90 above. The 80, 90 is bad, is not good. Okay. Yeah. So the famous joke. Why not? Saying jokes already. This 80-year-old multimillionaire gets married to a very young person. So they said, what's pshat? Like, why would she marry you? You're so what if you're a multimillionaire? But Maisa, she's young, you're 80 years old. He says, no. I lied to her. I told her I'm 95. Says the Gemara, Romile Abai L'Rabba. Tnan, Hamevi get v'nicha izokin achoyla. Noiseloi b'cheska shukaya. So Abai continues to ask. He's the one asking here. Person brings a get, it says in our Mishnah, he brings the get, and he's a shliach for an old person or a sick person. You give the get, he has a chazaka. Listen to this. Unbelievable halacha. A person gives a get that should be chal when? A minute before he dies. The get is going to happen when he's alive. Obviously, when a person is dead, he can't give a get. He wants to be married to this wife until the end of his life. 1 minute before, it's going to be chal. The halacha is, she can never eat truma. If she's married to a kohen, he's a kohen, she can't eat truma because what? Maybe this moment right now is the moment before he dies. I'd never know. It's unbelievable Gemara here. This is svaris. We have to be machalik. What's going on? But a second ago, you said that a person has a chazaka that he's alive. We don't, oh, maybe he died. There's no maybe he died. Right now, he's alive, give the get. We're talking about Eishes Ish. She could get the get and go get married to her. And over here in Truma, you're saying not. And I think, Rabbi Yisai, again, not to Musar and Haktis, but every moment, we have to live like this. We have to live as if this is our last moment. This woman cannot eat this apple of Truma because maybe it's the moment before the death of her husband. Every moment. Kachazeh. That's how we're supposed to live like that. You don't know. What? Huh? On this Gemara. Who says the Chacham Tzvi? That based on this Gemara, he says that you're supposed to say Kiddush Levana today. Don't wait. You don't know. Nobody knows. I mean, think about it. How many of us know young people, friends, that were here yesterday and not here to Avi Mendelbaum, on Zoom, everything? We don't know. Nobody knows. There's no guarantee to life. So we don't know. She can't eat truma. But it's a good child. What do we do? Omalei, truma, Gittin karamis. One simple teretz is, don't ask me kasher truma. Why? Truma efshar, get lo efshar. What's pshat? Simple taich. Truma, she doesn't have to eat truma. She get along in life without eating truma, fine. But a get, if you take away, if every single time you say maybe the guy died, then you have to erase the whole idea of an agent, of a shliach. Because as soon as the guy gets from here to the house down the block, maybe the guy died a minute ago. You can't give a get. But what's pshat? How does it work? Oh, because we're talking about a da'iraisa. Mid-da'iraisa, there's a chazaka, and a get should work mid-da'iraisa. Just Chachamim came and said, you need to be concerned. We have to put in a stringency here. Okay, so they only did it in a place that you could survive. No, not everybody. We Yisraelim don't eat truma. We're fine. We get along just fine without eating truma. So she could also not eat truma. We'll make a chumrah on her. I just want to say real quickly, because Rashi says here that if you don't use a shliach, you're going to be an aguna. And when we learned the sugi of aguna, 2 days ago, when Eli Kaufman was here. And I had a note in my Gemara to say this, but for some reason I skipped over it. That in Eretz Yisrael, if a person does not give a get to his wife, they put him in jail. That's how it goes here. In America, there's no. In Eretz Yisrael, you don't want to give a get, and they try this, that. They take you, they put you in jail. I was going to say it. Eli Kaufman comes over to me after, remember the guy I showed yesterday, the guy that said he took something to life, the Karbanis? He says his father just gave a get yesterday to a guy in jail for 10 years here in Eretz Yisrael, refusing to give a get to his wife. He sat in jail for 10 years just not to give a get to his wife, and finally yesterday he gave the get to his wife. His father just did it the day he was here. And I wanted to say it, but it was too late. Okay, but Rashi says, his father, I guess, does Gittin. Yes. I think there's a true story. I think it's based on true that a guy sat in jail for a very long time, and he wasn't giving a get. So the Rav advised the judge, let him free. So they let him free. And then the Rav, maybe this part of the plan, the Rav told him, listen, now get him. After 6 months of freedom, put him in again. Because once the guy was used to jail, another year. Once he tasted freedom, and then we're going to put you in again. He gave. Fine. They give. Oh, you mean people that are ma'agin? Okay. Ramale, where are we? Oh, Virami, Truma, Gena Bayas, a contradiction between Truma. Tanan. Bas Israel and Sola Koyin Vahalach Balam Din Sayam. If a Yisraelis is married to a Koyin and she's eating Truma because she's married to the Koyin and her husband leaves, that we said she could continue eating Truma. Virimino asked the Kasha, Gemara contradiction. This is your get 1 moment before he dies. Asur lechva truma miyad. On the one hand, we say her husband is alive, she can eat truma. On the other hand, we say within truma itself, you always have to be concerned. You hear the Gemara's kasha, unbelievable. This is different. One, he didn't give her a get. The first case didn't give her a get. He left the chutz la'aretz. Maybe he died, and maybe you're not eligible to eat truma. No, he has a chazaka, cheskas kamaisa. He's still alive. But when he gives a get, and the get should be chal while he's alive a moment before he dies, then I have to be choishesh that he might die in the next moment. But what about the cheskas kamaisa? Omar Avada, beautiful kasha, mamish, givaldik. Omar Avada bereder Rabbi Yitzchok, shani hosom, shari, osra olav, shah, achas, koida misasai. What is going on here? What's Gemara answering? Beautiful. That, of course, is a chazaka that the husband is alive. That's a cheskas kamaisa. Why? He has chazaka. But one thing is certain, everybody dies. And since the husband is for sure going to die, and if I ask you right now, first I'll ask you 2 questions. Answer the questions. Is the husband alive? Yeah, as a chazaka. Another question. Is the husband going to live in a minute from now? That I don't know. That I don't have a chazaka. Oh, I don't have a chazaka. So now it's a suffix. Now I can't eat truma. It's very darkistic. Rashi says it's hard. It's hard to understand. But that's what the Gemara says. Again, if I ask you, is the guy alive? Yeah, the Torah says he has a chazaka, he's alive. But if I ask you, is the guy going to live in 1 moment from now, in 2 moments from now? I can't answer that question. That I don't have a chazaka for. The Torah never told me a chazaka on that. So if I ask you that question, you're going to say, I don't know. Oh, you don't know. It's a suffix. If you don't know, you can't eat truma on a suffix. Question. Who's the only person in the Torah that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, you're not going to die in 1 minute from now? I think it's the only person. This week's parasha in America. Kalev. He told him, because you're gonna go into Eretz Yisrael. In other words, he knows he's not gonna die in a minute. Okay, fine. You're gonna ask me kasha, but this one, but that one, I get. Even David HaMelech didn't.
We had 70.
But he didn't know.
You had 70, right?
You didn't know. That's why I kept on learning. Fine.
You didn't know when he was gonna die.
Maskiflo Rav Papa. Ask Rav Papa. This is mamish givaldik stuff, Rabbi Yisrael. Don't you want somebody to join Chelik Beis? You're telling me. Huh? I don't remember anything. I don't know. I'm looking forward though. I know today is great. Yesterday was great. It has a chazak. It's going to be good. It's going to continue. What are you talking about? You know that every moment is a moment that's going to be usher for, that it could potentially be isser for? Maybe fakir. Maybe she's going to die before him and she'll never reach that isser. You're assuming that any given moment of her life is a moment before her husband's death. But maybe she's going to die before her husband. It won't be that moment. Look in Rashi. Why? The whole thing is based on the fact that...
That's why she can't. That's the point.
Yeah, but
she might first. But he might first.
I hear. Elamar Baya. It's Dakisdik. Elamar Baya. Loi Kasha. Horabi Meir the Lechayish Lemisa. Horabi Yudah Lechayish Lemisa. You have a contradiction? Not a contradiction. Rabbi Meir is not concerned that somebody's going to die, as we saw. When was it? 2 days ago, when we're learning about the wine, and we're going to have the whole sugi all over again, chazar again, in a second. Now, Rabbi Meir is not concerned that the barrel is going to explode. He's not concerned about these things. He's not concerned that the person is going to... Right now, we don't have to be chayshish the person is going to die, and therefore she could eat truma. Rabbi Yehuda, the chayish lemisa, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Yosi, they were all chayshish that maybe the barrel is going to explode. They're also chayish lemisa. Desnan, halagech yaim ben akusim. If you buy wine from a kusi and you want to drink it right now, I have to emphasize this because on the Kahoot, a lot of people got this wrong. So I guess I didn't do a good enough job. I got yelled at. There's a difference between a kusi and amaretz. Amaretz is, he takes truma. Why? Just to remember is very easy. Truma is nothing. You can give truma one kernel. We give 2%. In our charge is 2%. You give 1%, you give a benini. If you want to be larger, you give more. The rice only. So the Amaretz has no problem just giving one stalk and finish. He's done. But Meiser, the 10%, Amaretz, we have to be Choshen Amaretz. It's not a Vada, it's a Chashad. So when you buy Dmai, we don't know what this is. You bought from an Amaretz in the street. You're supposed to give Meiser. But a Kusi is different. Rashi says over there on Chafei, a Kusi is a Vadai. He's not going to give. He doesn't give Meiser, finished. Because they have different Torah. They work with different rules. They have different halachas. I mentioned then that he'll give for himself, but not for other people. Vadai not. But he wants to drink right now, so what does he do? So let's go to the videotape. There's a few changes here. We're always improving. Over here we put 100 plus. I don't like the plus sign so much, but it's too late. I can't do that. We'll have to do the Israeli plus sign, just like the top part. A person has 100 plus apples. So let's say he has 102, okay? Because 100 caused people pain in their brain. The mathematicians, they got all nervous. It's 88, not 90. But I want to round it off to 90. It's easier. So 100 plus apples. So he goes and he takes two of them. They turn. You see, you like the color? The color change here. Turned into truma. Blue is truma. He gave it to the kohen 2%. Now, he goes and he takes 10% and it turns into gold. That's meiser. Let me just make sure. Let's see. I wanted the top part. The truma should turn into blue on top. Okay, we'll have that done. Truma should blue and meiser now. Okay, good. So now he takes the 10 fruit and he gives it to the Levi. Okay, now this is the one that people got confused. The Levi now has 10%. It's called meiser. The truma was already given, the meiser. Now the Levi has to give trumas meiser. So he takes 10% of what he has and he gives it to the kohen. Okay. What else? Asara, arein truma. Asara meiser rishon. Now, let's keep on going. Rabbi said, let me go back. Shouldn't have jumped so fast. Here. This is Meiser Sheni, Rabbi said. He's left with 90 apples. On years of the Shemitah calendar, the 7 years to the Shemitah cycle, on years 1, 2, 4, and 5, the way to remember it is that 3 and 6, every 3 years, it's something else. It's called Meiser Ani. So he takes 10% and gives it to himself. And he's supposed to take the 10%, the 9 apples, and bring them to Yerushalayim and eat them. What if his 10% is 900,000 apples? Now what does he do? He can't schlep so many apples. He's not going to be able to eat that many apples in Yerushalayim. So he converts it from his own pocket. I had to change this. We changed it. Not we had a guy in a stall and forget the stall. He himself changes it. Here we go. He takes 9 apples and he switches hands. Takes out of his pocket money. And he transfers the Gedusha of the 9 apples into the money. So now the money is going to go from money into purple money. It's going to have a Gedusha of Meiser Sheni, and the purple apples are going to revert back to being red apples. They no longer have Gedusha. Look at Boom. The apples. That's what I just said. We're taking that back. We're changing it. You don't have to sell. You just convert it by yourself. That was the whole point of this. I'm saying we're upgrading, we're becoming better, we're doing tshuva. And then he takes the money and he goes to Yerushalayim and he buys fruit with it, and you see the fruit in Yerushalayim turns into purple, has Gdusha. You're allowed to buy any type of food you want, any type of wine you want. You could go to a restaurant, spend it wherever you want. So you went from apples to going to a fancy restaurant in Yerushalayim. Okay, that's the story. Now, so let's see inside. He wants to drink the wine right now. So he does, that was the sugya breira. We're not talking about that now. That's not the point. He says, what I am going to be mafresh in the future, that should be mufresh. That should be the right thing. 2% is truma. Asara meiser rishoin, and 10% goes to the Levi. Tisha meiser sheni, and 9 apples that are left over, which is 10% of the leftover, what remains, goes to myself, called meiser sheni. Umeichal, and he redeems it on money according to Rashi. And he can drink the wine immediately, even though he didn't take truma or meiser, and there's no trumas meiser. What was taken, Rabbi Isai? Meiser sheni was taken because he redeemed it right now. Different Rabbi Meir, because Rabbi Meir is not concerned that maybe in the middle of the night, poof, the whole barrel will go five. Everything will spill on the floor, and he won't be able to give the 2 and the 10 and the this and the that. And it turns out that everything he ate was tevel, and it's this is the raisa. Review the Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon Oisrim. They say I have to be choshesh shibaka. So the Gemara wants to say that's the same kind of svara. And the Gemara doesn't go away from that. Same svara. If I'm not concerned that a barrel is going to explode, I'm not concerned that a human being is going to explode. Rav Omar Daf Amud Beis, sponsored by the Friedman Family for our sisters נחama Lea Bas Yibal Chaim Pנחas Eლიעזר. And Chaneta Bas, Pנחas Eליעזר. Says Gemara, now we only have 8 minutes.
The guy then with his wife smoking, I want to guess him. Son, we didn't have him.
You know how to do Zoom with volume? But we have to do a whole daf now. We can't do it today. So we're going to push him off again. It costs we go from Manchester over day after day after day. We're pushing him off. Better be amazing. Shema Meis Loy Chashinon. Says the Gemara, here, a distinction. Perhaps he died. I'm not choishish why. I have a chazaka. Shema Yamos Chashinon. Says the Gemara, we're operating on a chazaka that he didn't die. Over here it's more, it could be I messed up the terrace before and now, but over here it's more, we're operating the chazaka that he didn't die. And if you ask me right now it's going to be a suffix whether he's going to die in the future or not. We're going to have to fix whatever we did before on that terrace later. Omar Leir Ravada Bar Masna to explain the difference between the two terutzim. Omar Leir Ravada Bar Masna Rava. V'hanoid the Keshema Yomosu Upligi. But what about a barrel that explodes and doesn't explode? There's machlokes over there. It's not so pashut that you don't say it's going to happen. It's going Keshema Yomosu Upligi. Right now, maybe it's going to die. I can prevent the barrel from exploding. I'll have somebody there as soon as he sees that it starts cracking, whatever, he'll save it or whatever. There's a way to I can't save a person from dying. But what if the guy watching, he disappears on us, he dies? The kids are, how could you guarantee it? Shema Yamos Tanoi. So we're just changing one thing. That's a machlokes. I'm not saying straight out that Shema Yamos everybody agrees to that we choishish, because even in Shema Yamos we had a machlokes Tanoim. So Einachanami. The thing that Truma is not going to go according to Rameir, because Rameir says I'm not choishish for that he might die. Hasholeach hatazim medinas hayam. We said if a person sends a chatos from overseas, then you could be makriv it. Most likely the guy's still alive. He has a chazak, he's alive. Not most likely, his chazak, he's alive. Bring it as a korban. Imagine from Chutz La'aretz in those days sending a sheep. Months. Says Gemara v'bina smicha. Chazak kamaisa here smicha. You want to know what smicha looks like? Smicha is the process of leaning on an animal's head with all your might. Put all your weight on the animal. So the Gemara just says, l'chari, you should never be able to send an animal from Chutz La'aretz because it doesn't work to send a messenger. It doesn't work to send your kid. You have to do it yourself. How did you do it? You're in America. The animals is here. Omer Rav Yosef B'Korban Hashem. You're right. We're talking about women. Women are potter. It says in the pasuk Daber el Bnei Yisrael, and then 2 pasukim later it says V'Samachi al Dai. It's Bnei Yisrael, V'Loi Bnei Yisrael. I'm just thinking to myself, it's mamish anes that women don't have to do this. Imagine a woman have to touch an animal. I don't see it happening. First, let them kill a cockroach, then we'll see them touching it. Fine. We're talking about a bird that was sent from Chutz La'aretz. A bird, obviously, you're not going to lean your whole body on a bird. There's no smicha on a bird. Utzricha, yash meaning get. So now, Rabbi Yosef had 3 things in the Mishnah: get, zaken, chayla. Sorry. The get of an old man and a sick person. We had the case of truma, and we had the case of chatas. I should move it over a little bit to the right. Okay, chatas. These are the 3 things that we don't think the person. He has a chazak. They're alive. Says the Gemara. Utzricha. Let me just see. I see that Yoshi threw some things into my. Very nice. Yishkoyach Yoshi. During Shir, he put some two slides in. Art, new art for the shir. Again, the svar that we used before. How are you going to take away all the shlichim in the world? You can't say that you can't send the get with the shliach. So you have to leave the shlichus in. Why? Because of aguna. Fine. You could survive without truma. You say you don't use the chazaka that the husband is alive. Truma, and if I just say the case of truma, the zivil efshar. Sometimes a wife is so poor. She goes to the grana, she takes the wheat from. She survives off a truma. So don't punish her and say she can't eat the truma. On the tzad that the person that sent it is dead, that's chulun lazara. It's a to bring such a carbon. Maybe she should be makbet. I need all 3 cases. The Mishnah is sponsored by Eli Friedman, Lili Nishmas, my dear father, Chaim Avram Shalom Yeruchim Ben Yishmael David Al Shalom. 3 identical things Rebbe Elazar ben Parta said to Chachamim, V'kimus dvarav, they greet him. Alir shikafua karkoim. So here's the piece of art. Here's a city, mamish done. Seriously, this is new art, not taken from a book or anything. This is a city that is surrounded, besieged by the enemy. Here we go. Here's a svina meturefes bayam, also done for the shir. And a person who's going for capital punishment, they're talking about killing him. Again, we have cheskas kamaisa, chazaka kamaisa, that these people are alive, which is fascinating because I did chazara on Mesechus Avodah Zarah 40 times, and I don't know it, unfortunately, but I do remember that in Mesechus Avodah Zarah it brings down this Tana, Rebbe Elazar ben Parta, who the Romans said he must die for, I think, 5 reasons. And he was able to prove 4 of them were false. On the 5th one, Eliyahu came and saved him. This is the Rebbe Elazar ben Parta who's telling us that a person has chazaka kamaisa. He learned on his own body. I don't care what the Romans said. At the end of the day, I lived. But once the enemy is inside the city, the boat is lost. We haven't heard from them in 2 months. He's already done. Now we have to treat him l'chumra. That what? Bas Yisrael kohen. If Yisrael is married to kohen, she doesn't get to eat truma. We have to say that her husband is dead. Ubas kohen Yisrael. But if she's a kohenes and we want to assume that her husband is dead, we don't assume her husband is dead. So we have to go l'chumra in both cases. So our boy said this word for word. If you listen now, then we could do Amud Aleph in seconds. Well, I don't even know if we'll do Amud Beis in seconds because it's already 8 o'clock. This idea that a person is leading him out to kill him, and we say that we have to treat him l'chumra, that he's alive, not that he's dead, that he's alive, and his wife, who's a bas kohen, cannot eat truma, says Rabbi Yosef, that's only in a bezin of Yisrael. The difference is that the next sugi is going to start out saying the same exact thing, but and it's going to take this exact Rabbi Yosef didn't say that it's a bezin of a Jew, the bezin of a guy that you could give them bribes. And they're going to take every single raya, word for word, that we're going to say right now, and it's going to be on Amud Aleph, up to the Mishnah. So says Rabbi Yosef, because we're Jewish, we're always looking to save the guy. We said he's nidal l'maves, he gets the capital punishment, but there's a guy outside waiting, everybody's waiting, maybe we could figure something out and let him off the hook. There's a Maisa in court, the guy, they said finished, like everybody knew, like the O.J. Simpson, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knew he's a dead man. Dead man walking, the lawyer got up and he said, everybody here is so sure, and all the riots that this guy is the killer. Guess what? The real killer is going to walk into the door on the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and everybody turned around to look at the door, and nobody walked in. He says, "Ha! Why did you turn around? You were so sure that he's chayiv misa. Why did you all turn around?" And at the end, they paskin that the guy is chayiv misa. And what's pshat? Because when everybody turned around, the killer didn't turn around. But upon me, you see this idea that we always look for schos. But the bezin of a guy, once they paskin misa, they're gonna kill him. You should always be concerned that maybe he's alive. This Jew Nebuch that there was a Maisa with the Briskerov again. Another Briskerov. That they said, I'm pretty sure it was the Briskerov. They said that there's a new guy in charge. The Moshel came in and he said, we were closing down the Talmud Torah. And he said, don't even try bribing me. I don't do bribes. No bribes. So the Briskerov went around and he found out how much money they're willing to bribe the new Moshel. He said, $100,000. Okay, $100,000. The Briskerov showed up in his raincoat, and he started talking to the guys. He said, guys, why are you wearing a raincoat? He says, because it's going to rain today. He says, it's not going to rain today. Look at the sky. He says, I'm willing to bet you $100,000 it's going to rain today. So the guy says, okay, I'll bet. He says, I'll give you $100,000 if it doesn't rain, and you give me $25 if it does. A very off-balance bet. The guy took the bet. And of course, it didn't rain. So the Briskerov came to him and said, listen, you won the bet, here's $100,000. He said, but I don't feel comfortable taking. He says, no, take the $100,000. But also, by the way, the cheder, make sure the cheder, it's okay, fine, the cheder, no problem. Zok the Gemara that a guy will take shoichat, so maybe he's still alive. I love the word pursi shnomag. You're a pursi shnomag. Fine. That what? There was a verdict. Once there's a verdict, shalom aleichem. There's a verdict, they're not going to take shit. So even a guy, once it's written down, he's out. Halacha. 2 Eidim come and say, this Jew was, that's it. He was Yoitzel Lahareg, he got the death penalty, and these are the Eidim, Harezi Yahareg. No, what about, Rabbi Yosef just said, you have to be Melamed Tzchus by Yid. You always Melamed Tzchus. No, you take the word of the 2 Eidim and you kill that guy. So there's a big problem. We're going to have the same problem tomorrow. Dilma says the Gemara, Bereach Shani. Few pshatim here, but since he ran away, then obviously he felt himself that there's no limut tzchus. Another pshat is, since he ran away, we're not melamed tzchus on him. We're only going to fnim mishus adin on a guy that plays by the rules. But this guy ran away. We're not going to look for a limut tzchus. Tashma shama min bezin sheYisrael sheyoimrim ish pleni meis ish pleni nerag yasius ishtay. If a person just heard that so and so died, you can marry off the wife. Mikomen terisin. But if there's an executioner, you don't listen to the guy. My mace or my nerag. What's the case? They testify that he's dead. And if a guy testifies that he doesn't testify, you're schmoozing, you heard, they killed the Jew. So what is that called? Just schmoozing it out. We said that you could trust any guy. He didn't come to Bezdin to testify. You heard a guy talking in the street. Oh, you heard they killed a Jew. You should be able to believe him. Elo lav meis yoitzelamos nereg yoitzelahari. Then what the word mace means doesn't mean that he died already. It just means that he's going to die, and that's what you heard the guy saying. Therefore, you can't be soymech on that. He's going to die, and that's why by the executioner you should marry off the wife. You don't marry off the wife. Nereg yoitzelahari. Viktani asked the Gemara, but Bezin Yisrael, you see this shtoi. This is a kasha Rabbi Yosef. Rabbi Yosef says that by a Jewish court, we always have to be chayshish. Maybe we can find the limit zchus on him. Maybe he doesn't have to die. Why would you marry off the wife based on this testimony? Says Gemara, meis mamish. No, the testimony is that he literally died, and that's why you marry off the wife. V'nerek mamish. And you ask me a question. It's mesich lefitumay by a guy. We should believe the guy. The guy wants to boast and say, "Oh, we killed the Jew." That's not Mesich Lefitumai. That's already he's biased. Boy, lachzuke shekrayu, and then 1 minute. Okay, fine. So we'll stop over here, Rabbi Isai. Have a wonderful day.